Liverpool 3, Nottingham Forest 2, Stevie Nicol. Plenty entertainment for the neutral, but as a former Liverpool defender, you must have been a little bit concerned at your ex-team's inability to defend long throws, but they got the job done in the end.
Well, where do you start? I mean, yes, they got the job done in the end, but to be quite frank, it's not only Liverpool, but Nottingham Forest as well. I mean, the one thing I got from this game, okay, Liverpool got 3 points. It was expected, but it certainly wasn't the way we thought they were going to get the 3 points. But the truth of the matter is, this game shows us that the modern day footballer doesn't know anything about defending. 5 goals from set pieces tells you that nobody can smell danger, nobody can react quick enough. I mean, nobody defensively knows what they're doing. Oh, yes, they can all pass the ball lovely and play out from the back and all these things, but can they defend? No, they can't. And I'm talking about both sides. 5 goals from set pieces in the Premier League's a joke. And I hope Liverpool's throw-in coach, I wonder if he does defensive throw-ins as well. That'd be interesting to find out, because they were just a mess. They were a shambles. The position and the starting positions were all wrong, which actually showed itself so badly in the unfortunate own goal from Robertson. Way too far across, as was everybody else. Van Dijk and Kanate and Williams scores from a deflection. I mean, horrible defending from both sides. But as you said, if you're a neutral 3-2, like, you score, I'll score. You score, I'll score. I mean, it was hardly classic football. Let me put it that way.
No, but it was great entertainment. It was thoroughly enjoyable. If you're a Liverpool fan or if you're a Forest fan, yeah, it was a roller coaster
I'm a
ride.
Liverpool fan. I didn't enjoy it. I don't think Forest fans enjoyed that much. If you're either of the two, then yes, you would enjoy 5 goals. But I can assure you, as a fan of Liverpool, I didn't enjoy watching this. I was on the edge of my seat all the time. I was never comfortable. Actually, that's not true. When Jota scored at the start of the second half, I thought, okay, the game's over. I really thought it was just going to be a stroll from then. But then, of course, Forest go up the other end and score a couple of minutes later. And then that changes everything. So, yeah, other than that little 5-10 seconds, this wasn't an easy watch for either a Forest or a Liverpool fan.
How good was it to see Diogo Jota back among the goals after what he did in the previous game as well? It's like he's picked up where he left off before the injury.
Well, he's sharp in and around the penalty box. I mean, this guy, the commentator called him a poacher. I think he's more than that. But in and around the penalty box, he's a real predator. And he reacts quicker than anybody else, which is why he gets his first goal in particular. He makes a great run from the set piece that's thrown in from Robertson. A couple of touches and then dispatches it in the bottom corner. Yeah, I mean, that's real ability, but no surprise. In the penalty box, he could have had a hat-trick. I'd like to say that it was good defending. He gets a little nudge just before he goes to header the ball, which knocks him off balance, which is why, in my opinion, he doesn't score that header in the first half. But yeah, in and around the penalty box, this guy, he just knows he can sniff things out, and most of the time he finishes it off.
Now, Robbie Fowler, wonderful goal scorer for Liverpool. Finally, Mohamed Salah has levelled with Robbie Fowler total goals for Liverpool. It wasn't one of Mo's better days at the office. He was kind of quiet, but he's always Johnny on the spot, isn't he? Right place, right time, winning goal.
Yeah, again, he has a knack and an understanding of where the ball's going to drop, similar to Jota. Unfortunately for Jota, he can't score goals that Mo can, coming in from that right-hand side on his left peg, which makes Mo that little bit more special, and why he's caught Robbie Fowler, because Robbie Fowler was a special finisher, and to do what he's done, you have to be good, and there's no question. Mo Salah's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. You were a Liverpool fullback that played in a variety of positions. Trent Alexander-Arnold, a Liverpool fullback that's playing right now in midfield. Do you think he's there to stay the way he's put in the team right now in his position?
Well, the impression that Klopp's given us is yes. However, it's not changing Liverpool's performances defensively. It just means that they're a man short. I think if you need to ask Kanati. He's a centre back. Kanati's a centre back. He's an international centre back, and he's a very good centre back. And he's being asked to play centre back and right back at the same time. Now that's tough to do. Mm-hmm. That is tough to do. And because Alexander-Arnold is stepping in the middle of the park, whenever Liverpool lose the ball, that back line, or that pretty much back three, because then Robertson has to get tucked in as well, is struggling to cope with the pressure. That's the honest truth. So, listen, Alexander shines in the middle of the park when he gets the ball at his feet and he can play passes forward and he can whip balls in. But, are you changing the whole setup of the team to accommodate one guy? And then when you're doing that, it's not exactly producing the greatest of results from a defensive point of view. I'm not so sure that's the right thing to do. He might just stick with it for the rest of the season, but I would question whether starting next season doing the same thing would be the right thing to do.
Yeah, I think when Liverpool press the reset button in the summer, it'll be welcomed. They're 20-odd points worse off than they were at this stage of the season last year. There's been reasons for that. I'm just wondering, if you were pressing the reset button in the summer, what would you be thinking? Because there's been some suggestions to get the best out of Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Maybe go to a three at the back with those two wide of midfield so you could still keep your three in attack. Could that be something under consideration? Maybe a 3-4-3 next season for Klopp? Or what do you think he'll be looking to do ahead of next season?
No, not. I honestly don't see. As bad as Liverpool have been for the most part of this season, he has never once indicated changing the way he's going to play with three at the back. So I don't see any reason to think that all of a sudden next year he's going to do it. Listen, he set the mould when Liverpool were winning the Premier League and the Champions League of how he wants his team to play. And it's 4-3-3. And I think the biggest reason they're struggling this year is the middle of the park. For a whole host of reasons, hasn't done the job. And so I would think his biggest fix right now, I think, would be the middle of the park. And if he can do that, then I would start working with the back line. But no, I don't see him changing to a three at the back. Although with Alexander-Arnold stepping into the middle, they end up being three at the back. But certainly it's not with design. I think Alexander-Arnold's supposed to get himself back in defence whenever the ball's lost, but he's not able to do that either. So, yeah, I think the middle of the park's the first thing that needs fixed for Jurgen Klopp.
Let's wrap this up talking about Forest, and before we speak about events on the pitch, another lovely touch. Steve Hodge before the game, the Forest player of old, laying a wreath at the Hillsborough Memorial, and then the fans. I thought this was really touching with a banner behind the goals that the Liverpool fans really appreciated as well. Basically saying, stop these stupid chants about past disasters. Come on, we're bigger than that. So that was credit to the Forest fans. The Liverpool fans reciprocated. And then on the field, they've got something going forward, Stevie, but they just can't stop conceding goals.
Yeah. Listen, they're not... I don't think they're going to play against a side as inept defensively from throw-ins as Liverpool were today too often. They have a couple of players who are capable of putting the ball in the net, but I don't have confidence that they have enough to do it regularly, which again is one of the reasons that they are in the league where they are. The other glaring one is they can't keep a clean sheet to save their life because they can't smell out danger. They certainly get plenty of bodies behind the ball, but it's one thing to get bodies behind it, but then you have to affect it when you're there. And they don't have enough. I don't believe they have enough defenders who actually smell out danger, not only before it happens, but once it happens quickly enough to affect it. So yeah, they for me are one of the candidates to go down. I'm pretty sure of that, especially with Leicester winning today. That's huge for them. It kind of changes their running as well. So yeah, it's not great for Forest. I think they're one of the favourites to go down.
Yeah, they're in trouble, especially with Southampton getting a point at Arsenal on Friday night. Leicester, as you mentioned, beating Wolves, and Everton getting a point at Palace. A lot more twists and turns still to come, but there were plenty twists and turns at Anfield. Liverpool eventually getting the job done, despite being pegged back twice.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.